Welcome to another episode of Will and Mike Explain the Movieverse.
Here on Will and Mike Explain the Movieverse, we're here to sync up with your favorite movies and just bash them till they're dead. No, but seriously, these are mostly movies that we truly love, so...
Yeah, the point of all of which is to enjoy them together, give us an excuse to hang out, and give you an excuse to hang out with us, and feel like you're part of the crowd, part of the team, part of the friendly neighborhood communal group that we have.
Part of the Galactic Patrolmen.
Part of the League of Ultimate Justice of Movie Watching. Called, all headed by Master Will and Master Mike.
It almost sounds like Mastermind. Watch yourselves, everybody. Mike's taking over.
I'm getting into your brain through your ears right now. Today, usually we watch a bunch of our old favorite childhood ones. A lot of the time we have a lot of cool sci-fi movies. A lot of the time we watch some of our favorite, action adventures or something like that. Even weird stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But today, we're going to watch a comedy that is beloved by all and very formative to most of us who grew up during this era, the same age that Will and I are, late 20s, early 30s, something like that.
If you ever watch TBS any time in your life, during the summer, during the weekend, anytime you'd have seen this movie, you'd have quoted this movie, you would have known every word of it by the end of the summer.
You don't even need to hear the audio for this movie, because I'm pretty sure you've got it memorized already. Today we're doing, what is it called, Will?
Oh, man, what is this called? It's called, Maddie, Bill...
Happy Madison, Billy
Out.
Gilmore. It's Adam Sandler's first big hit solo movie, Billy Madison. That's right. So we are actually going to get started on this by turning on the TV. We got the Universal logo ready to go on pause. If you're following along, feel free to start watching it with us as we unpause it on the Universal logo in 3, 2, 1, and go.
And so we get the typical fanfare, as all movies have at this point.
Yeah, you almost think that you're getting into some Smarty Pants movie with a classical score.
You
kind of are, for Adam Sandler movies go.
Right? One of the first movies that changed their fanfare logo was Basketball.
Oh, really?
For, Universal. It would go around, and then it would go around again, and then the Earth would turn into a basketball.
Oh, that's awesome. I love when they started incorporating the movie studio logos into everything. And I know some of my favorite notable examples are Serenity with, that Joss Whedon did before the Avengers, and also at the beginning of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, where it's all 8-bit and has the bit tunes. Holy crap, Adam Sandler's tan.
That's what happens when you get drunk and pass out on the side of the pool.
So, yeah, his backside probably looks like white as a sheet. Oh my goodness, I'm starting to...
Miley.
How long ago did we watch this, Alicia? Oh yeah, and my girlfriend Alicia's here too.
Hi, Alicia!
How long ago did we watch this? This has been a few months at least, huh? Since the last time we watched it.
At least.
Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this one of your favorite childhood movies too?
Yes.
It's okay to admit it. We all love this movie.
So,
go ahead.
So it was horrible at that... gosh, now I just lost his name.
Norm Macdonald.
As horrible as he did on the roast on Comedy Central, he is a very hilarious guy. I saw his stand-up. It had to have been 3 years ago, and I just could not stop laughing. Norm Macdonald's talking about how to properly bury hookers in the freaking forest and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, there is a set of procedures that really does need to be followed if you don't want to get caught.
Right?
But
the ABCs of burying a body.
This is only hearsay, honey. I promise I don't actually know any of this. The internet is full of many mysterious and wonderful bits of knowledge like that. I know Norm Macdonald, the first time that I was seeing him was about this same time. He was with Adam Sandler on Saturday Night Live back when this first came out. Yeah. I used to love Saturday Night Live because that's back when you had Dana Carvey and Mike Myers. Phil Hartman was still around.
Absolutely. Norm Macdonald was doing Weekend Update.
Yeah, and that's what I knew Norm Macdonald as. In fact, to this day, he's one of my favorite old Weekend Update guys. I just remember he used to have a whole running gag where every now and then he'd have some weird story which just goes to show you that Germans love David Hasselhoff. And I remember one time he had the whole, he decided that the 1998 best jobs that you can get report just came out, and it turns out that the best job you can get is a programmer. The worst job, crack whore. I think the very next year it was like some kind of real estate investor, Wall Street or something.
Right.
Like that. But the worst one, crack whore assistant.
The crack whore assistant. You carry all the bags.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, if there's anything that's actually worse than an actual crack whore. But yeah, I don't know who his other friend is that's in this movie. Like, that guy kind of disappeared.
Yeah, he was far and few between when it came to movies. I don't think I ever remembered his name. I can't even tell you
his name at all. But yeah, Adam Sandler, I think this movie came out, and at the time, I was like in junior high school, and he had released an album, kind of like the old Monty Python guys used to, and a bunch of comedy guys. The George Carlin ones, where amongst his stand-up, he'd also have different skits and stuff they do. So Adam Sandler had things that I shouldn't find so hilarious, but to this day I still kind of do, like the severe beating of a high school Spanish teacher, or the severe beating of a high school bus driver.
His piece of crap car.
I think they did a version of, hey man, it's Dave, open the door. Dave's not here,
Dave's not here, man.
Still don't get the chasing of the penguin, but I guess I've just never been that drunk. I don't know.
Or that
Sunstroke,
yeah. Just like hallucinating to the point that you're just going crazy.
I wonder whose mansion they got to film this in. If it was just like one of the executives, has one of the movie executive producers has a good friend who's just like, yeah, sure, come film a guy chasing a penguin with a golf cart in my yard, no problem.
Whoa! Call the zoo.
Yeah, the plot of this movie is pretty basic as far as like finding out, trying to get him. It's all just an excuse to watch a grown man go through elementary school, honestly. But it does it really well. It's one of those things where you wonder if Adam Sandler sold his soul to the devil at some point, because these concepts shouldn't work so well, but they do. Between this and Happy Gilmore, which are two comedy classics, in my opinion,
most definitely.
And I love his...
Airheads was about the same time, too.
I never actually did get to see through Airheads or Detroit Rock City. There's like a bunch of classic ones like that I've got to see sometime.
Detroit Rock City is one of my favorites. That and Empire Records when it comes to like
that's another one I've got
movies.
To see. I was too busy during that day and age watching Star Wars again and again. But...
Oh, how dare you be so committed to something so awesome.
Yeah, it's not like that ever went anywhere. Or they made any more.
Right?
We're saying
only 3. Come on.
we're making this podcast right after they've been debuting like the newest trailer where Harrison Ford finally showed up in it for episode 7. And anyway, we're really excited and can hardly ever have even a normal conversation about anything else without just bringing it up again.
Yeah, it's basically true. Like,
you all know how we feel, right? If you're listening to this. Oh, there's the guy that lives beneath Monica on Friends.
Yeah,
what's his name? Mr. Heckles.
Mr. Heckles.
Thank
and
you,
he dies, doesn't he? Like,
yeah.
hitting the broom onto the ceiling. And the guy on the right, he's been in so many freaking things. What did I watch recently with him?
He's one of those guys that shows up in tons of movies. The other guy, man, where's Sean around here to IMDb some info for us when we're
right?
Eric! Even the guy who plays the villain in this, the redheaded guy,
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that's in a bunch of movies that you see all the time, but you can never remember his name. I'm sure that his dad in this is like one of those long-time classical actors that you've seen in tons of movies, forever, and probably has a big long list through, I don't know, the 50s and 60s, one of those kind of things, where
maybe even when he was younger.
This is still
this is like the go-to
one of my most memorable part. Yeah, I can't take a shower or have anything to do with shampoo without thinking of these lines. The conditioner is better. It makes the hair silky and smooth.
Oh, really, fool? Really?
Yeah, it's weird how Adam Sandler sort of just incorporated a bunch of his weird... Well, honestly, his own personal oddity of a personality, because...
How he walks like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's super goofy. This part right here where he starts, like, speaking, like, his own secret weird language.
Billy, no gibberish at the table.
Yeah, it's like... The guy somehow has made a fortune off of doing that. Why I can't do that is amazing.
As I IMDb'd it. Like
it's that part that we're watching with
the soup.
With the soup slurping right there. And Billy's smarter than he looks, though, and that's part of the problem with. I mean, one of the fun things about watching this movie is his own personality quirks. Like he's smarter than he seems, and he has so much potential. But he's someone who squandered it, and that's basically the moral of this whole story, is that, we all have that potential, and we shouldn't squander it just goofing around. At some point, we have to grow up and become a productive member of society. So
it's kind of funny because the lady to the left of him looks like a Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
You better watch yourself.
Special guest appearance by, who is he?
Tim Curry.
Thank you, Tim Curry.
That's why me and Mike do the podcast together. We've got each other's backs. When somebody doesn't know something,
the other one should. That's right.
And if we both don't know it, well, tough shit.
It's funny, we're watching it with the subtitles on, and I'm like, wait, did the subtitles go off? And then I realized, oh no, he's just speaking gibberish. It's that part we were just talking about. But the fact that he is smarter than he should be, like, he knows this guy is bad news. He knows the redheaded dude in this is,
right.
an a-hole.
So I just kind of pulled up IMDb really quick, just to kind of get an overview of the characters and everything like that, make sure we weren't missing anybody. There is, like, nobody in this movie. Like, there's, 5 or 6 people that have their picture into the cast.
Everybody else isn't even coming up.
Steve Buscemi's at the very end, and he's uncredited.
Yeah. No, this is the first movie that I can think of with Steve Buscemi in it.
Chris Farley's uncredited.
Where he's, like, putting on lipstick and listening to...
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see the song that comes up. That bit where they just threw pickles on the window to erase them and see how far down they'd go. I'm ashamed to say that my buddy Clint and I used to do that, but with our boogers.
Nice.
The snot rocket. Oh, you should see the look that Alicia
did you actually have to, like,
everybody.
snot rocket it onto the window? Like,
yeah, well, it wasn't so much a window as a particular wall at the warehouse we worked at.
Look at the size of that.
What's funny is you can still kind of see it. You know what? I'm just going to change the subject. Yeah, that's a bigger pool table than most. Right? That's almost a swimming pool table.
And they did not try at all to make that ball. He's just like, oh yeah, ball, hit it. Oh, rats.
It doesn't even matter if we make it in, boys. We're going to do this in 2 takes. That's kind of what I'm getting the feeling of here.
So I don't know if you guys saw my picture. Kind of, as we do, I'm changing the pace a little bit. Geek Trib, the SLC Tribune, here in Salt Lake City, did a little contest thing for the premiere of Age of Ultron, where they took a couple of the little Funko Pop action vinyl figures that are bobbleheads.
Yeah.
And they put 3 of the Ultrons around downtown Salt Lake City.
You found one. You sent that picture to me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that was.
They just, like, posted a picture of it, like, up close so you couldn't see where it was, and then put a little riddle on it. I figured out all 3 riddles, found all 3, only grabbed one, but I told one guy where another one was.
Seriously?
But I saw all 3 of them before.
Why didn't you text me? I'm out and about. I would have found them.
It was funny.
We're no longer friends. Get away from my podcast.
Oh, here's a classic part.
Well, so what? So you just got the vinyl pop, right? It wasn't like tickets or something.
It was the vinyl pop, and then I got 2 free comic books from Dr. Volt's Comic Book Connection, which we will plug at the end of this. So if you're interested,
remember next Saturday, free comic book day.
Free comic book day, and then we're going down to Mike's work to play some
little bit of Star Wars D&D. Gonna be a good time.
It's a flaming bag of poo again.
He called that poop.
Don't put it out with your boots, Dan.
Why would he come out in his underwear and his boots? This guy deserves.
He was all ready for it.
Over his boots.
It's poop again.
I forget how juvenile the show actually gets.
Right.
I don't know. I guess what was fun about the show was when it came out when I was like 14, and I walked to the same friend I mentioned where we used to snot rocking on the wall and see whose booger would win on the way down. My buddy Clint, I went to his house, and him and a couple other guys were watching. I remember I'd seen the previews, and it didn't look like anything special to me at the time. It was like, oh, it's a bunch of Saturday Night Live guys hanging out. But when I went over to Clint's, we sat down and started watching it. It was his first day of school, so I got in like right in the meat of the movie,
right,
like right when it, the plot really starts moving, such as it is, and everything else. And like, I kind of fell in love with it. Like, I was surprised at how good it was. And I think part of the fun of it was that him and his friends in this, at least at the beginning of the movie, they act just like we did when we were 14, but they were grown ups. So
they were like in their 20s and 30s.
So we can get away with acting like that for the rest of our lives. All right.
I still know people that act like this.
Unfortunately,
my attitude can brim on the edge of acting like that, but I keep it pretty.
Keep it real.
I drop back a little bit.
I've known you a long time, Will. You've made a lot of progress, but it is true. Sometimes you can. Well, so can I. And I'm almost 34. Wow, this movie's 20 years old? When did this movie come out?
I think it's like almost 30 years old.
Is it 95, 96? It's got to be a 95 movie.
This is 95.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because Happy Gilmore came out right after it. I think I'd actually seen Happy Gilmore first and thought it was really funny, and it's, I was happy, to finally catch this one. This is back in the day and age, folks, when you didn't have Netflix and stuff, and you had to wait for like your friends' parents to buy the video cassette. So cut me some slack.
Or if you're my age, you just wait every weekend to watch it on TBS about 3 times a day.
There's another thing, yeah.
Along with all like the other Saturday Night Live cast, it was always because that was what was popular. Mike Myers, Adam Sandler.
I know they used to play Wayne's World, but I haven't seen that movie in a long time. It's funny. I keep wanting to show Wayne's World to Alicia, right? How many times have I mentioned it? Like.
A lot.
Every now and then. Or a reference or something. And we've only ever, when we're looking at DVDs, we only ever see Wayne's World 2. And we're like, come on!
I think I've got the first Wayne's World somewhere on my hard drive because I absolutely love Wayne's World. Like, that's one of those classic ones. And Mallory absolutely hates Mike Myers. There's no reason behind it. She just does not like Mike Myers. And I think it was because of The Love Guru. I think that was one of the first movies she watched.
You can't base, his whole career in comedy genius on that.
Right? Even though I thought it was funny.
Does she like him in Inglourious Bastards when he shows up as a British commander?
I don't think she even realized.
I don't think anybody did. I pointed that out to my dad, and he's like, oh my goodness, it is.
It was kind of like Johnny Depp on Tusk. The moment he walked out, you're like, who's this actor? Who is this? And then if nobody tells you, you wait till the end credits, and there's no famous actor or anything comes up for that name. He went under an alias for that role too.
That's pretty awesome of him. I think his greatest cameo appearance and indistinguishable role that he's ever played, where you just didn't notice it was even him, was 21 Jump Street.
Right.
When he shows up there at the end, reprising his role from the series from the 80s.
Most definitely.
If you haven't seen 21 Jump Street or its sequel, 22 Jump Street, don't let the names and the concept fool you. They are actually hilarious. They're some of my new favorite comedies.
I'm wondering if I finished 22 Jump Street, because you were talking about it, and I realized that it was on my Vudu account, because since I put that... Big Hero 6 on my Vudu account, I went and I share with my sister and her family and all that, and they actually have 21 and 22 Jump Street on there. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and watch this.
You got to finish it because the ending of that movie is like the best out of any comedy I've seen in a long time.
Really?
Right? How hard did I laugh the 2 times we saw that movie in the theater?
We both laughed.
We both laughed till we cried and our lungs were about to die. Does that mean I have to send you home with the Blu-ray then, if nothing else? Because I bought it on Blu-ray because I love it that much.
No, I've got a high-def copy.
Oh, okay. Cool.
This song, I will always remember in my head, and I will always do the dance that freaking Billy Madison does here. Downtown,
I think the last time we watched this a couple of months ago, I'd totally forgotten that this part existed. Do they usually cut it out of it when they air it on TBS? Or?
No, I used to watch it on TBS. They had it. And I think it was just like... day by day, they would edit the movie to fit the time frame that it has.
Yeah. So CBS, I remember their schedule was always really weird. Like everything would start at 2:05 or 6:35. It was really It's always 5 minutes after.
And then the
I always had
credits
this
would
theory.
be rolling, and they'd have the next movie already playing.
Well,
at the top.
Well, I always had this theory. Why is everything 5 minutes after the hour or whatever? And I thought to myself, when the station first started, they ran into technical difficulties for 5 minutes, and ever since then, everything's 5 minutes later. His tore up preppy sweater that he has there, sweater that he has there, is, I always thought it was pretty stylish.
Oh yeah,
I never got the point of it. But,
This black lady used to make me laugh so hard when I was a kid.
This line where she says, like, you stay here and help me shave my armpits.
Gross.
That boy.
What a weirdo.
Her name is Juanita. Oh, this song right here. Back to school, back to school, so I don't look like a fool.
I'm not a fool.
Yeah. I got
my lunch packed up.
My shoes tight. I hope I don't get in a fight.
Oh.
When you and I worked at the school there at Pingree, I used to sing that song all the time. I was driving the school bus, folks. I was basically Chris Farley in this movie back when we worked at that place together. Right. I gotta stop playing with this thing. I think it's making clicking noises on there.
Click, 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 click. There's a click, 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 click.
I think you can actually see it when you're looking at the levels on Audacity.
You can see my click, 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 click.
Right here. This is the scene that I walked in on. He says, "Thank you, Daddy."
Thank you, Daddy.
I don't know. I find
awesome Scooby-Doo.
Why would his dad actually drive him to school in that car instead of send him with like a servant or something?
Yeah.
I
You
wonder.
know his dad doesn't
So I've
drive.
always wondered if that actually wasn't wasn't his dad in there, and it was a servant, but he was just making a crack at it.
Mm-hmm.
And the servant inside was like, "Oh, Billy."
Oh, Billy.
Oh, Veronica Vaughn here. I'm trying to remember. I think the only two other movies that I remember her ever being in were Mortal Kombat, where she played Sonya Blade, and Last Action Hero, which was her first movie, and Schwarzenegger even makes a comment on the fact, "This is your first movie."
Big Fish.
Oh no, the guy said, the kid says, "This is her first movie. That's why you never seen her as a big star." Is she in Big Fish?
Yeah, when they go to that random town in the middle of nowhere where they have to take off their shoes and not Don Cheadle. What's the guy that's uncredited in this?
The Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. He plays the
Buscemi.
Buscemi. Sama. Bosha. Yeah, she plays one of the husband or the wife that's in that town and everything like that. She's like, everybody thinks, yeah, real catch, as they're spinning around in a circle.
I wonder if she's one of those people that just retired from acting and sort of disappeared into the limelight, or just, never got another job. I don't know.
Bridget Wilson Sampras.
Okay, sure. Man, I'm looking at all these kids and their clothes and haircuts and stuff, and boy, that takes me back.
Right?
I basically still have a 90s haircut sometimes.
I always loved Miss Lippy. I always strive to be a teacher like her.
Isn't
And I'm
she the
pretty
one that-
close, except for like the eating paste thing, or putting the paste over the eyes.
I thought you invented that. Yeah, she's a real freak. I never got why kids eat paste. Like, to this day, I can't even imagine.
Miss Veronica Vaughn hasn't done any acting since 2008.
Yeah, I bet she just kind of decided, I don't know if this is that much fun, because I've known a lot of people, it's not so much that they can't get a role, they just end up saying like, this is kind of a pain in the butt that live in this lifestyle. I think I want to go do something more normal. You know what I did used to do with glue? And I didn't ever eat paste, but I would like put the Elmer's glue on the top of my hand.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'd mix it around, let it dry, and then look like an old person and be like, "Oh no, what's happened?"
And then you could peel it off.
Yeah, I tried to
And
get
then
the
eat
biggest strand. Well, I didn't eat.
I mean, what?
Didn't eat paste.
Do you know
now
what
I know
else
you were
Veronica
lying.
Vaughn was?
Huh.
She was Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter in Last Action Hero.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, duh.
It was like one of the first ones I said.
I only heard like Mortal Kombat for some reason.
I love the story about the puppy who was lost or whatever it is. And he's out. You get out there and you find that fucking dog. Oh, like he's the only one who's still up. Everyone else is just kind of.
Those kids are
kicking
faking
back.
it.
This really makes me want to go back to kindergarten. Life was simpler back then.
Right.
I remember, because I'd watched Sesame Street so much, by the time I got to kindergarten, I knew all the colors, I knew the days of the week. Took me a minute to memorize the order that the months go in, but I finally figured it out. But I was on top of it, man. I knew how to spell my own name, but it was really weird. I think the teachers, all through elementary, were always frustrated with me, because I would always be, the only left-handed kid in class. It was all kinds of fun.
It's like, did you get that when you were growing up? Were you the only left-handed kid in class, Alicia?
Typically,
Even
yes.
taking calligraphy in high school or middle school or anything like that. Every other kid, they get to write on their paper normal. I had to turn mine to the side in order to get all the fancy little serifs and stuff on the
I never
paper.
learned how to write in cursive.
Yeah, you're not missing out.
I'm like, this is kind of dumb. My freaking signature is like a big scribble. It's an organized scribble, mind you. I know exactly how many loops to put, but
Well, my last name's Armstrong, so it's basically an A, a T, and a G with a bunch of little scribble bumps slightly between those three letters.
What movie did they go back to where they actually brought the O'Doyles back in?
Oh, was it Blended? Because I think we saw Blended recently, and they had Adam Sandler movie characters from. They had the keyboardist from The Wedding Singer was on there.
Oh, nice.
There was a couple of them.
One that looked like Boy George all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was back for Blended. That was basically the best thing about Blended was it felt like it was a skew-universe kind of thing, but for Adam Sandler movies. And there was just a bunch of recurring characters from his other shows.
My Voodoo account too.
Everyone gives it a lot of crap, and it actually was a pretty funny date movie, if for no other reason, just to see the dialogue, the snappy dialogue between Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler is actually pretty funny. Man, this is how I feel nowadays. If I could go back in time now, I would totally do this in Dodgeball. Take out all
headshots.
those kids. Yeah, he just catches it.
I wouldn't have hit him anyways. You suck at throwing, kid.
Big trouble. Bam! They're all injured. No mercy. You know, I don't understand why companies nowadays
That
don't
kid's
have
mullet
recess.
was dope.
Can you imagine, like, at all of our jobs, we just had recess to go outside and play on a swing set for a while, for 15 minutes, then come back
It's
in?
kind of like the Japanese, how they take
They do the
breaks
calisthenics
to do
and
the
the-
calisthenics.
Yeah, they're light years ahead of us in terms of corporate efficiency
and it's like
and overall morale. Well,
and
except for that high
humanity for
suicide
that
rate now,
much,
but-
like actually keeping your employees happy and fit, and doing these things to prevent serious things like carpal tunnel or back problems and stuff like that.
I remember seeing a thing that somebody sent me where it was like, here's what they looked like after the tsunami in 2013 or 12 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what it is, and then here it is now a year or two later, and like everything was already rebuilt up and
if
really
not
amazing.
better too.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like it was really inspiring. Donkey Kong sucks.
Donkey Kong sucks. You suck.
I used to love making the art projects when I was in elementary school.
I used to love being in charge of them when I worked at a school.
Oh yeah, you were always.
I am
doing
not
that
an
stuff.
artsy person, but
That's one thing I miss being at that school, when people figured out that I could draw some, when they'd be like, hey, can you draw us a giant Viking, or can you draw us some palm trees and cut those out for whoever's class that was, Jason or whatever.
Mike was the residential artist, bad A.
Mostly it was just that I had plenty of spare time during the day when I wasn't driving a school bus to make things for people. It's good times.
Hey, got paid for it, right?
Yeah, hey, and I met my girlfriend through there eventually.
Perfect.
So. Right, Alicia? Yeah, it's cute.
It was way cute. That's where I met my wife, too.
Speaking of scary wives, and this one whose husband is in prison.
The booger mom?
Is that what they call her? I forgot.
They call her like the booger maiden or something like that.
I just
the
remember
snot queen.
Even when I was in junior high school, she kind of creeped me out.
Oh, yeah. It's like, are you going to steal my soul?
Made me feel bad for this kid. This isn't the kid that he's hanging out with later, though, is he? Like,
I think so.
I think that's someone from his third grade class.
Oh,
And this
yeah,
is
it
still
is. Because he's got
kindergarten
the
or first
glasses.
grade.
He's got like this circular glasses.
That's right, yeah, and he makes him call Veronica Vaughn.
Because I ride the bus for the school. That was my excuse.
I drove the bus. I would have been happy to teach you how.
Right?
Good times.
Oh, man, I miss...
It would have been my last day of work, but after, the inevitable firing.
I do miss being able to, like, ride the bus and, like,
Ride
read
the
comic
bus.
books. Ride the bike. I was going to say bike.
I was saying ride the
Because I'm
bus.
just so
I'm like,
used
what
to saying,
bus?
I ride
What?
the bike.
What have you been up to this weekend?
Riding people's asses. But I miss being able to, like, ride the bus and, like, read a bunch of comic books. Basically, Mike and I could have done a podcast on the bus.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Welcome to Will and Mike Explain the Busiverse.
I think I still have the keys to those buses up at Pingree if you want to grab them.
We just go sit in there on the weekends.
Every Sunday.
No big deal.
Now, this guy's kind of creepy, keeping rats in his office. I don't know what's up with that.
I keep rats in my office. No, I don't. But, dude, I started a new thing. I was kind of inspired by Mike's ability to collect Transformers and everything like that, so I took it upon myself to...
It is quite the skill.
It is, like, keeping them in good condition. So I took it upon myself to try and start collecting a action figure line of my own. It's the Marvel Legends Infinite series.
Oh, good choice.
And this one is Earth Allies and stuff like that, so they've got... So far, I've got Hawkeye and Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But I've got to collect...
Oh, that's right. That's what we were talking about the other day, where they come with Odin as the Build-A-Figure,
Yeah.
right? But when I saw it at the store, I'm like, why does Captain Marvel come with Odin's head? Like, is it swappable? Why would Captain Marvel have... Like, why would Odin want Captain Marvel's body?
So
It's just,
super
so I
excited.
picture this, like... this gorgeous woman or whatever, the superhero-esque, statuesque
Allfather.
Venus of a character with an old man head that's got an eye patch. Like, that's the weirdest pack-in
I'm looking at it, though,
accessory
and
of
you
all.
can get, like, the arm of the Destroyer
Oh, yeah.
for it. So there are times when it actually looks like future
Oh,
Thor
okay, yeah,
from
yeah.
the latest
From
Jason Aaron
God
run.
of God of Thunder, yeah.
Yeah.
Thor, God of Thunder.
And it's such a good series. Like, I'm almost about to the point to be like, no, like, this head is Odin, but this head is the Allfather Thor.
Oh, that would be awesome.
The
to have him
Allfather
as a-
Thor. See how I did that?
Allfather.
Thor.
Just switch out the E for an O.
I always wanted to get... There's two Billy Madison things that I've always wanted tattooed on my body. One is the blue duck. Because I've never seen a blue duck before. And I want
It
to
would
get
go
that
with the
tattooed
gorilla's
somewhere,
tattoos.
somewhere random.
Right.
But the other one comes from The Water Boy, which is one of my all-time favorite Adam Sandler movies. And I want to get a tattoo on my butt, but I don't want Roy Orbison. I want the guy who has Roy Orbison on his butt, Henry Winkler. I've always wanted to have a tattoo of Henry Winkler on my butt.
Henry Winkler. We just watched him the other day, and Here Comes the Boom. And that,
oh, yeah.
He was really good in that.
That was actually
I couldn't
really
even
good
tell
movie.
that he was Fonz. No, what was I going to say? Something about tattoo. No, Waterboy. I'd never actually seen Waterboy, but it's one of those movies where, like, you already know, like, some of the classic lines from it. Like, everyone's always going, "You can do it!"
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's like one or two others, but I think I get them mixed up with a few other movies.
Oh, that's not a problem. One of them is, water sucks, Gatorade is better. Water sucks, it really, really sucks.
Yeah, I remember my friends talking about that.
No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Mama's right.
Otherwise, just drags the kid along.
Come on,
get up! That's what I would do if I was in the same position, though. Oh yeah, this clown,
poor clown
who dies but doesn't really because he shows up again later.
Lover, I just broke my leg and got a hemorrhage in my head.
That's so creepy. Yeah, that song that comes at the end, that musical song, is it's
Just
probably the highlight of the movie. The dark humor of this stuff. It's so messed up. I wonder who played the clown. It's probably like one of those people like Johnny Depp or something like that. If this was a Tim Burton movie, it would definitely have been Johnny Depp.
This guy, another uncredited, or another one of those actors that never...
you kind of see him in the background and different things all the time.
But you never know his name.
Yeah,
Rolo is his name, apparently.
Steve Buscemi's in tons of other Adam Sandler movies. Like, wasn't he in... what's the one? Mr. Deeds?
Yep, he has crazy eyes.
Yeah, has the cross-eyedness and... I know he's in a bunch of
I liked
others.
him in Con Air.
You know what?
He was a sick guy in that.
Oh, yeah. You know, one time I cut off a woman's face and wore it as a hat as I drove from California or whatever he said. That's like one of the only lines I remember from that movie. We've been talking about that movie a lot lately for absolutely no reason. We should probably just get together and watch it one of these days.
Yeah, probably. Even if we don't podcast, which we probably will because it'll be us watching a movie in general. But... But I love Con Air.
Let's just talk about Con Air while we watch Billy Madison. I don't know how we got on. Oh yeah, Steve Buscemi. He's the lead there. You know what's funny about? I actually used to like doing spelling bees. I was really good at them. I did pretty good in a few in elementary school. It wasn't like any, extracurricular competition or anything like that. It was just when the school or the grade would get together to do it. I usually came in, the top 3 people. But later on, when he's doing the cursive. You know, you were talking about, they never... why didn't they ever teach you cursive up there in Brigham City?
They tried. I just didn't care.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't blame you.
I don't need to make all of my writing fancy. If you can... you can't read cursive near as well as you can read print, and I can print a lot faster than I can do cursive.
No, it's totally true, yeah. Like, I hear all the time they're thinking about getting rid of cursive altogether in school. But, like, I know I learned it in 3rd grade, and the only reason I learned it in 3rd grade was, number one, so I could read the letters my grandma would send me on my birthday, because they were always in cursive, and I was like, what the heck does this say? And then number 2 was I was told that it was mandatory that you had to do it all through 4th grade on every paper. And that was true. Like, we actually did. So it's like I knew that going into 3rd grade, learning cursive, that, I have to learn it or else I'm not going to do well in 4th grade. So that was kind of my motivation. Yeah, like, once I got into 5th grade, oh, blessed day, I didn't have to do cursive, like, ever again. And to this day, I can barely remember how, except for when I signed my name.
Right.
Especially, there's the part coming up where he does the Z's. And that's the way last time I tried writing a cursive Z. It was basically the same squiggle. Well, the Z kind of looks like just like the G or the J or whatever.
It looks like an S
I don't know.
mixed with a G, so it's...
Yeah, or a very strange 2. Makes sense.
It's an alien letter.
Is this 2nd grade or 3rd grade? I think he's finally in 3rd grade.
Today, Junior.
Yeah, that's so mean. But that's the kid. That's his friend that's with him later on.
Yeah,
they become lifelong friends.
Lifelong friends.
I wonder where that kid is nowadays. Like, if he ever ended up in other movies.
I think he's the only one with an actual IMDb still, and he's like older.
Oh, okay.
So he's still kind of acting, I guess.
Oh, what other movies was he in? Do you still have it there? Or?
Oh yeah, I've got it pulled up.
Okay.
That Veronica Vaughn.
I don't know if I ever got that joke when I was younger. Turn to page 69. 69! What? Don't look at me like that, Alicia. I was an innocent young lad. Truly.
Oh, goodness.
For the what is he?
Sorry,
because she's... Oh, no, I was just talking about on the movie. She's disappointed that he's making crude jokes. I kind of like that she doesn't put up with his bull crap.
I thought my mom was... sorry to interrupt the podcast, but I thought my mom was in trouble. But my mom can't spell worth a damn. So she said that she was partying and she was looking for something and wondering if I could come there. I'm like, I can't come get you right now, Mom. Like, I'm in the middle of something. You're always ruining everything, Mom.
It's funny that you mentioned that because my mom will always text, but when she texts, she treats it like an email. So I'll get like 5 or 6 or 8 texts all in a row.
Oh, man.
So like we'll be hanging out and I'll hear, oh, my phone went off. Wonder who that is. And it goes beep beep. Beep, 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 beep. Like, it just keeps going. I'm like, oh, must be one from Mom.
It must be Mom or Grandma.
Wow, she really yanked him out by his ear. Ouch. I've been
I
physically
think this is
abused
him.
in that ear.
I'm pretty sure this is him.
Man, he must be really into like S&M or something like that. She is dominating him.
Shabam! Oh, come on. So hot. Want to touch the hiney.
I remember that part being on the trailer, like the movie previews all the time.
Seriously, I've watched this movie too damn much.
You've seen it a bunch too, right, Alicia?
I haven't watched this in like 5 years, and I still remember like exactly what happens.
Feel free to jump in and start quoting lines if you want.
Yeah,
the audience loves it. They do it too, don't you all? People out there in internet world.
Don't you? Oh yeah, you know you like it.
But remember, the offer is still on the table.
And he was in Degrassi in 2005. He was
really?
a long shot, an addition of voices in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, huh.
He was in Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Kids TV movie.
Oh, sure. Who could forget that?
Yeah, right? 2005? I totally watched that. Tales from the Crypt Keeper. It looks like a cute little TV kids show. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, he's done minor roles throughout his...
all over the place. Oh,
yeah.
Glad to see he's getting work out there. That's good.
Yeah, and then his title in this is...
I didn't even think I could spell...
Nodding First Grader.
Really? That's the only name
Oh,
they
no,
gave?
this can't be him then, because he's a third grader.
Right. Maybe you're thinking of the creepy mom's kid.
Yeah.
You know what? He spells dugout right there like it's easy. I don't even think I could spell that in cursive anymore.
Bunt!
Maybe. I don't know if I think about it. You know what's funny, though? All of his cursive stuff should be leaning slightly to the right, because that was how I was taught to write cursive. It all kind of leans, and it's never straight up and down. I don't know. My teacher was a real battle axe. Oh, yeah, risotto. What is that some kind of pasta? What is it?
It's a baseball player.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know baseball.
He says it right here. It's not a word, it's a name!
No.
Those are Z's.
I think those are brilliant Z's.
It's not a word, he's a baseball player, you're cheating.
I look more like the Z's than a Z does. Try the word buzz.
Burr?
I hate cursive and I hate all of you.
Oh, so I was playing my Star Wars card game today.
Oh, yeah.
Trading card game.
I need to get that. Is that on Android yet?
I don't know.
I'm going to look that
I would
up
think
later.
so. But I usually save all my credits for the end of the week when they have all these cool things going on and special packs. And I went to go get this special card out of this pack, and I spent like 200,000 credits, and each pack is like 3,000. So I got 40 packs. Yeah. Didn't get a single one of those cards.
Oh,
Today
man.
I did it, and I got it on my third pack. I'm like, you son of a biscuit. You son of a biscuit-eating clown face.
Son of a
And it was
block.
this one.
Oh, it's Han in Ice Gear.
Yeah, classic Han.
From like the old Star Wars Marvel comics.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Hey, but his coat is brown.
Oh,
Did
nice.
Did you see that on the internet lately? They said okay, is the coat blue or black, people?
Yeah.
Someone tried to start that argument.
But I got my ATST.
Nice. There's
Alec
old
Guinness
Obi-Wan.
says Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi.
Galactic Moments. This is actually kind
The
of a rare
Force
card.
Awakens. Oh, there's
And
one of
Magna
Grievous's
God.
guards. Yeah.
Magna God.
Those guys are cool.
Yeah. I haven't gotten any gold. I've gotten a bunch of yellow.
Huh.
But I haven't gotten to gold yet.
See, I need to get that collection. That'd be fun just on my work day when I'm stopping for lunch or something like that to pull it up and try to grab some cards.
Bring the note up to me.
Now, the principal in this movie was in... We saw him in a couple of things recently. Or he's in maybe some of Adam Sandler's other movies or something.
I think so. I think.
But I used to think I used to get him confused with the guy that played Newman on Seinfeld,
which is
Jurassic
very
Park.
understandable.
That guy, I heard him on the Nerdist podcast a while back. I think he's actually a way cool, funny guy.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's a way good guy.
Look at how this guy looks now. It looks like George R.R. Martin's fat brother.
Oh my gosh, he does. The principal on Billy Madison nowadays looks almost like George R.R. Martin.
No
funny.
crap.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
His double chin is almost the size of his forehead. Actually, it doubles
Rival
his forehead.
only to George Lucas's own. Oh, I love this. Man, Billy, I just thought of the funniest thing. Billy? Like, his friends are still just crashing out
He's
by
in
the
school,
pool.
man. And Norm Macdonald's so young and skinny.
Yeah. I love Norm Macdonald. But, of course, my favorite role of his, I think, is when he played Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds
on
always.
Jeopardy. Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
Sorry I was late. You weren't invited.
That's the sound your mother made last night, Trebek. All these things, all the girls like him in his class.
And this is another quote, or another reference I didn't understand until I was younger either. I want you inside me.
Oh, I know. I figured it was the Valentine's Day box.
Look how elaborate
Because we had to
that
make
is.
one back in when I was in elementary school.
I'm horny.
Oh, yeah, P.S. I'm horny, yeah.
And he
Oh,
does
my
it in
goodness.
red?
Oh,
Perfect.
my goodness. The principal, because technically Billy is probably a legal student right now, that principal could lose his whole career just for that one note alone.
And that'll be 2 careers he's lost in a
Yeah,
lifetime.
that and his wrestling career.
See, I wish I had an older friend that I could just cause all sorts of mayhem with like this.
When you were...
That wouldn't touch me inappropriately.
I was going to say, like, nowadays, it's hard for anybody to get away with that kind of friendship, I guess.
So almost done with
In the 90s were a different and more innocent time, people.
much more innocent.
Billy Madison, brought to you by Wonder Bread.
Unless your name
Eat a
was
sandwich? Hungry?
allegedly Bill Cosby.
Get some Wonder Bread. Oh my gosh, Bill Cosby.
Bill
The saddest thing about that Bill Cosby thing, I think, is just that, like, he really tried to motivate, people, African American people, especially specifically,
Yeah.
to make sure they do good and get out there and make something of themselves
And have a
he had
supporting
good
family.
comedy. He based a whole career off of basically clean comedy and family and things like that. And then to have all this stuff that he was doing behind the scenes come out it's tragic, because that's basically, it's like the Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was really cool until people started finding out he was doing stuff that he shouldn't. It's the same thing with like Bill Cosby. It's too bad that that's kind of how he'll always be remembered, or what he'll be remembered for. Certainly for the next generation or two. Mm-hmm. Man, what are those corded things they have? Holding up to their ears. Why
are they holding plastic?
I thought they were in a big
faces?
fancy rich house. Why is he? Oh, you know what? Are they even at Billy's house? Is he at that kid's house? I think he's actually at that kid's house. Because isn't that a different kitchen?
Yeah, most definitely is.
That makes a little more sense. His mom's probably just around the corner. I'm sure it's not a weird...
She's going to be pissed. And here's Chris Farley.
I miss Chris Farley. This was totally me at work, wasn't it? Wasn't this me at work, Will? Every day?
God
I'll turn this bus around. There were some days.
O'Doyle's rule.
He's the O'Doyle dad.
Uh-huh.
Dad Doyle.
Dad Doyle.
I love his sideburns,
Dad
man. Look at
Doyle.
those chops. He's like freaking redheaded Wolverine.
Right.
He really let himself go.
He's a fat ginger Wolverine. He is Canadian after all.
Yeah, hey, well, most
Even
of the best
though-
comedy comes... Canada, in our universe, Canada is the funniest place on Earth. In the Marvel universe, it's one of the scariest.
Most definitely. You have not met Sasquatch of the Alpha Flight, so... Oh, speaking of gay superheroes, speaking of North Star from Alpha Flight...
I was just about to say, I don't think Sasquatch was gay.
But Bobby Drake in the all-new X-Men.
Oh, I heard about that the other day on the radio. That's kind of weird, because we
Everybody's
all know
like-
that...
Yeah, go ahead.
We all know that the Bobby Drake from 616 or whatever, the Bobby Drake we've all grown up with, was always hooking up with the ladies. Like,
Most
I know Kitty Pryde most recently,
Yeah.
and okay, so that's all I can think of right off the top of my head.
But yeah, he was one of those guys, and I guess his awkward kind of personality and everything kind of portrayed his insecurity with himself, with being who he really was. But
I guess maybe he could have swung either way at that age. And...
I think, especially with like the all-new X-Men, how they brought him back from the past and everything like that, kind of changes them as well, like them as people in this new culture and being able to be more
especially
open,
that pivotal time in your life where you're kind of defining who you are. Okay, well, I can go with it.
I mean, it doesn't change the comic book. So what? He's gay.
Nah,
That's awesome.
know.
He's still a kick-ass Iceman.
Do whatever you want.
Who will become an ice wizard one day.
Like I always say about comics, before anybody gets up in arms about anything, just remember they try new things all the time. Sometimes it works and they keep it. Sometimes it doesn't and they retcon it. So whatever.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
Plus, we've got a big, huge Marvel event happening here shortly.
Secret Wars. That's right.
Yeah.
It's all gonna get set back to zero anyway. So.
I picked up some Howard the Duck comics.
Oh,
I got the first 2 since I got 2 free comics.
Is he voiced by Seth Green?
I tried.
It's a comic, Mike.
Yeah. But I opened up the centerfold and there was an advertisement for the Secret Wars, and it was just all the different Tony Starks fighting one another.
Oh,
and that was cool
because
you see like crazy dystopian future Tony Stark, and you see I think that one was from like the Red Onslaught series. And you just see Arno, I believe, is another one of them that comes through. I mean, I know he's not Tony Stark, but he's still Arno Stark.
He's an Iron Man. Or
he's
whatever.
an actual Stark, you know?
Right.
So that looks really wicked. And the artwork they've been doing with these recent events and everything has just been really cool. Like, I really enjoyed the whole Axis. That was just such a cool storyline. Like all the artwork.
I gotta get caught up on them because I was all caught up on comics when I lived with my roommate who worked at Dr. Volt's.
Right, when we saw
and he'd always bring me home comic books. Yeah, you know, so I was always like, oh, cool, let's read that now. I swear I never find the time anymore. But
that kid wears his belt like I do. On the side.
Why are they tucking their...
Oh, it's just...
I saw why all these kids are tucking their t-shirts into their pants.
It was a cool thing. You're not cool unless you tuck your shirt
pants. What's sad is all these kids really do pee their pants, right? So
yeah,
I feel bad for
on the and he's just like Chris Farley's just like, what the hell? Are these guys wet?
Oh, the old lady. Consider me Miles Davis. Peeing your pants is cool.
Let's go.
Oh, the bus sees as the bus driver, having had to clean up my share of urine and all kinds and vomit and everything like that from time to time out of the bus. I kind of feel bad for Chris Farley right now.
That Veronica
Vaughn. That was a good bit that we passed up there. That was a good bit that we passed up there. Where
I'll tell you who stole my sandwiches.
Yeah, what happened to all of our lunches? And he's there with Billy's friends eating all the lunches.
What his friends are doing there, nobody will ever know.
I know, because they certainly didn't come on the bus, right? As far as we know.
Chris Farley's who we buy our weed from, man.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Woo-wee!
No, you didn't. I've always been the guy. I've always been the guy when we're doing this bit with friends. I'm the one that goes like, "No, you didn't. No, you're not.
No."
But you can imagine if I did, huh?
All right. Everybody on the bus? Great, grand, fine. No yelling on the bus.
It's not fine. It's wonderful. You lose points now.
That's okay. I'll take a mark to my grade. Past the
third grade. Ooh, what a glorious day.
Yeah. The music in this is just so great.
I miss the 90s. And I like how how referential this movie is to the 80s when Billy grew up. So
right.
Maybe that's why I identify with this movie a lot. I do make us listen to a lot of 80s and 90s music, huh, honey?
Yeah, but I already know them.
Yeah, in fact, you know them better than I do most of the time, which is kind of weird.
Oh, look. It's Professor Briefs and a young Bulma.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so it is the older sister. Oh, yeah, Will's got the new... It's done by Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball, but it's called Jakku, the Galactic Patrolman, and it takes place in the Dragon Ball universe, but it looks like, apparently, it's a prequel.
Absolutely.
Because they make references to Goku being a baby and all kinds of stuff like that. It's really cool. And, this is so gross. So she wipes off, like, the snot from the kid's face, or, like, whatever pizza sauce. And then she starts, like, wiping it on her Billy's reaction, I was just like, ugh. Shakes his head.
The mucus queen, that's what it is.
Thanks.
Brings him a big old bunch of snack packs.
Oh, look, she's got a parasol. I don't think people carry parasols around enough.
Right?
So it looks more like a Asian, like Japanese-inspired kind of.
Yeah, you would think
parasol.
you would match your outfit accordingly if you were going to use like an Asian parasol.
Oh, snack packs. That actually would be a really good present. I'm just telling you. A bunch of pudding if you want to get me something. That'd be great.
Some pudding. The kid in the background looked like he was wearing a Back to the Future Marty McFly hat.
Oh yeah, the multicolored stuff.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Eric's in the way. Eric!
That's why I always had a hard time picturing this guy when he was Mr. Heckles and he was such an antagonist on Friends.
Yeah.
How many of our podcasts do we reference Friends lately?
Every
You were there last
single
week. We were
one.
doing it all the time. We got like 2 or 3 different references to Friends for no reason.
Yeah.
It's probably completely unrelated.
We probably talked about it for about a half an hour and didn't even realize it until it was done. No.
You know what? That's what we're going to do. The podcast is changing. It's going to be Will and Mike explain Friends.
He's like spitting the freaking
yeah,
out of his teeth.
I've got that tiny little gap in my front teeth, and I used to do that to my friends when we'd be at the pool. I just shoot up and look at them, and they'd look at me like, what? And I go, right out of my
My buddy
space.
Ricky was the same.
Kind of a jerk move, but you know.
I watched Birdman last night, finally.
How'd you like that?
It was really good.
Yeah.
Really crazy. And the freaking continuous camera pan.
Right.
That's really cool. That's really neat how they did it. And how they could get, get the mirror in there, get his reflection, and still be behind him recording it, and there's still no camera there. And
right.
It was just wonderful.
It was a good-looking movie and stuff like that. My only real problems with it was I felt like it was preaching to me that superhero movies are dumb and not as good as other movies, but I've kind of come to terms with the fact that it's sort of telling him that he's thinking that. It's not actually trying to tell that to the audience. But at the time, I felt like it was kind of getting in my face. But I'm like, screw you. I like superhero movies. There's nothing wrong with that. Because we've had a lot of that going on in the media lately where a lot of these more pretentious filmmakers are sitting there saying how superhero movies aren't real movies and things like that. And
they made a
there's
big
been
thing
some
about
weird
that,
backlash about their success.
What was it? Not the Golden Globes, one of the awards shows that was like a big thing was a lot of the superhero movies weren't getting the credit they were because they're like, they use too much CGI and special effects. It's like, look at Furious 7. That thing's going to take home so many freaking awards and crap. And I'm sorry, Paul Walker, you're kind of a good actor. I liked you in Joyride. That was cool. But I don't think that you deserve to influence the way that our award shows are going because you wrecked doing the exact same things that you were doing in Final Fantasy 7.
Final Fantasy Furious 7. Now there's a movie. No, yeah, it's true. I mean, he died screwing off in the way that in those movies they get away with all the time. So
absolutely,
I hate to say it. I don't want to mean any disrespect here, but I mean, come on, kids, learn a lesson from that and grow up and realize those movies are fantasy. Please don't grow up thinking that that's like the cool way to live your life.
Trust me, I've ruined a car thinking that I was bad A like that. And it was
one of Alicia's friends just called up yesterday saying like, hey, I just totally hydroplaned into a thing, and we already know that she gets like speeding tickets and stuff. So.
And she probably
I hope she never listens to this one. Sorry.
And she probably doesn't take care of her tires either. I mean, if you're not really taking care of or watching how you're driving and everything like that, then you're not going to really pay attention to the maintenance on your car.
Also, you got to remember those.
She just got it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like a brand new car.
The tires were probably brand new.
Oh no, but she'd also already gotten a ticket for doing like 20 over just a couple weeks ago. And yeah, so I mean, you got to learn from others' mistakes, people. Just don't speed when it's raining cats and dogs outside.
Yeah, and watch out for those bikers because I'll tell you what, I haven't been closely hit recently, but I'm always out there in the rain and the snow, so I turn my lights on, I check my blind spot, you do the same, and you won't get my lock in your freaking car window.
So the but Birdman, my only other issue with it was at the end when you can't tell if he actually was having superpowers or was crazy or not. It's me. It's a personal thing with me. I've learned that I have a hard time watching movies where they give you is the person crazy or can they really do this or are they just insane? You don't know.
Right.
It's up to you, the viewer. And I'm just like, no, I don't like my movies about crazy people. I don't I don't know why. It's nothing against crazy people that have mental issues. Like we always talk about, check your mental health because it's important for that reason. But I don't like it being ambiguous like that, And that's just me. I don't know.
It's understandable.
But I loved Michael Keaton in it. I loved all the performances in it. I loved the technical aspects of it with moving around the camera the way they did, stuff like that. Like Birdman's a cool movie, but I'll probably like it better, a second time. But I think at the time too, I had to pee really bad, so that probably didn't help. And I think we went to it thinking that it was going to be about 40 minutes shorter than it was. So by the time it got done, we were like, oh, we kind of got to get out of here. When is this movie going to be over?
It's about the point Mallory fell asleep. It's about the 40-minute left mark.
I don't know if it's because we were just getting kind of tired by that point, or I honestly couldn't tell you what it was. It was probably just it might have had everything to do with our moods too. But
right,
it's a cool movie with a lot of cool stuff. You know, it's definitely a great technical achievement and acting wise and everything like that. I guess I just hated the ending.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. And I don't feel like what's her name that played Gwen Stacy got enough camera time.
Oh yeah,
she was just conceived as this. I guess her father's daughter. Really, she had kind of an emotional problem from the.
You mean Emma Stone? Right?
Emma Stone, yeah. She didn't have her father growing up, so she had the personal, the mental issues with that, and then her drug addictions on top of that, and always being like second fiddle and not having.
Yeah, she was great in that movie, and her character was really well rounded. But it's kind of crazy that she was hooking up with Edward Norton. But
yeah,
that's what crazy chicks and drugs with problems do. I guess I don't know. Here's one of my other favorite parts from this movie: Sloppy Joe's.
Yeah.
There you like 'em, nice and sloppy.
I know kids like them.
I would love to do that. Get a shopping, a golf cart, and set up a bunch of bowling pins.
Yeah, ultimate bowling. That and riding a jet ski. I haven't ridden a jet ski in some time.
I don't think I've ever ridden a jet ski. Have I? I don't think so.
My dad used to work on them.
I'm on motorcycles now, but
place that he used to work. He used to work on tractors as well as like ATVs and personal watercraft and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Because my dad's always been like this huge mechanic and everything like that. So they used to let him take them out. He would fix them, and he had to test them out and everything like that. So he would get like 5 or 6 at a time. So each one of our family members could like ride one.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So you got a bunch of opportunity back then.
Yeah.
You guys are up there in Corinne,
too
right?
Often. Yeah.
You just go to the old port that used to go to Saltaire and go cruising around on the
Willard Bay.
Oh, okay.
We just went out to the bay.
Willard Bay is a lot prettier anyway.
Yeah. Unless it's like dehydrated, in a drought, and then you see like all the islands.
Yeah. Oh, I have to go driving my truck out all the time, like around the Great Salt Lake and out by Stansbury Island and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There's like such a lack of water out there. It basically looks like you could just walk out to any of the islands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, seriously, it's like I've been hearing it on Geek Show. I've been hearing it on everywhere. Everyone talks about the world really is going to end up just like Mad Max with no water and being in a desert, and we're all just going to be fighting each other with big old barbarian style.
I finally convinced my dad that eventually the world is going to come down to where we're all living on basically a plant-based diet, kind of like on Pacific Rim, It's like all a soy-based...
it's all algae.
Yeah, it's all just like a soy-based plant life because it takes less water to make the soy, whereas the rest of the water is contaminated with kaiju blood. And
I just can't wait. I just can't wait until it comes out that Soylent-based stuff is actually people.
Yeah.
Soylent Green.
It's people.
Then how all you vegans feel. Take that, Will.
At least it was a human. I will take the life of a human.
Clint and I, my friend Clint, we used to watch the show all the time, but this is always one of our favorite parts when he shows up at high school in what was cool back when he was in high school. REO Speedwagon shirts, driving a Trans Am with the eagle on it or whatever it is. Maybe it's a Firebird. I think it's a Trans Am. But like showing up and all these people are just looking at him like, whatever. That's like my favorite part in 21
like,
Jump Street when they go and he's like, okay, let me tell you what all the cliques are. There's the jocks, there's the nerds, there's the goth kids, I think, and then they looks at the hipsters. I don't even know what they are. Like everything's completely different than when they were in high school.
No, I will not make out with you. Another classic
that's
quote from this movie.
That's what I was crap doesn't fly in high school. Like none of the kids will put up with that.
Right.
All these Gen Xers. We're Generation X. We feel neither highs nor lows. That REO Speedwagon shirt, though, I gotta say, is the bomb.
It really is. How it's like a baseball tee. It's kind of like remember the one I was wearing during our last game? My
it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, Motley Crue.
Oh yeah, that was right. Your Motley Crue one. I remember that was cool. Yeah, I remember it was a band, but
yeah. It kind of looks like Johnny Ramone, just like standing over everybody.
It's funny to see that girl in front of him that has the red hair. I thought that was more of a trend in the last few years, but I guess it just goes to show you it was going on all the time.
All the time.
There was a girl in my high school that she dressed up like really pale goth, dye her hair black and wear like bad
Doyle
makeup like that,
rules.
like all the time. And then on Halloween, the day that everyone else comes showing up, like they were dressed up, she showed up in like really normal clothes, had like no makeup on, her hair was all normal, and it was like she did it on purpose. It was a total joke, but it was hilarious.
That's way funny.
I don't remember that person's name, but these guys, he finds out he's one of the nerds. This is basically me and Clint in high school too, when we're like, we're not jocks, we're not the hicks, the cowboys and stuff like that. We're not any of the science people and stuff like that. What are we? And Clint goes, Mike, I think we're nerds. Oh yeah, I think you're right. That was another O'Doyle that dropped the salad dressing.
O'Doyle,
right?
one of these days, I think your family's in for a bad time.
The whole family's going down. Hundreds of friends, million parties. You guys are the losers, not me. Little did he realize. That seems to be like a trend in movies lately, like in 21 Jump Street and some of these, when the cool kid goes back to high school and realizes that he's not cool anymore, but he makes friends with the nerds and kind of sees the other side of it. I don't know where that trope came really cool. from. Right, yeah, and it turns out they actually are like the best ones or whatever.
I think it's all spurred from Grease.
Yeah, some kind of influence there, I'm sure. Love the fact that he goes back to 3rd grade and that was his favorite year.
Bears! Stay as long as you can!
Stay here. Stay as long as you can. What's that? He really has a definitive character in that voice, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what he's doing.
Most of his characters are very definitive. Very Adam Sandler. And did you read the recent news on the set of his new film? How he pissed off a bunch of Native Americans and they all walked off?
Kind of made me upset because it sounds like the jokes that they were talking about in the movie sound like they're really stupid jokes anyway.
Yeah.
So making fun of Indians and their names and
that's why the only company that will pick up his movies anymore is Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it was making it directly for Netflix. Like no one will even release it after Blended bombed. Well,
And then he's got...
If you just make quality stuff, people will still come see it. That's the thing. But he's come out and said that, ever since 50 First Dates, a lot of his movies have been excuses for a vacation.
Oh, so, yeah.
I believe that a lot about Just Go With
Grown
It.
Ups.
Because they were in that really nice resort in Hawaii again.
Same thing with Grown Ups.
Oh, yeah. I never actually saw Grown Ups, but I've seen enough of it to know that I don't need to see it.
Gotta hang out with Selma Hayek. That's what I call a vacation. Log Cabin, Selma Hayek.
Oh, is this when he's calling Steve Buscemi? When I was a kid, though, I went into this movie kind of dubiously, and turned out that I liked it. But this is actually probably my favorite part of this whole movie.
Oh, it's definitely. It's
he calls up the case. Yeah, no problem. And he has the list of people to kill.
And Billy's crossed off, and then shoo up. Shooby-doo-boo-up.
Yeah. He just puts on lipstick. And then how it totally pays off at the end with where he comes and shoots the guy in the butt. I'm glad I called that guy. Just goes to show you, kids, be nice to those people, apologize for any wrongdoing, and you never know how much that'll help you out in the end.
I can't tell you how many times I've actually apologized to people in my past. Another one, which was kind of random, I was a real prick on a Facebook post about 4 years ago. And for some reason, somebody dug it up and commented on it. They're like, "You're such a chauvinist and you're such an asshole."
Wow,
blah,
really?
blah, blah, blah.
They're stirring that fire, huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I was wrong. This was a while back. That was my mistake. I shouldn't have said something like this. I don't know why I would have said it, and I do apologize about it. They're like, wow. Thanks for just apologizing for that and being all cool about it. I'm like...
And then they did this and crossed you off.
Exactly. There's one less person that sucks on this planet.
I wonder who some of the other names are on there, but they're all pretty random. Or anybody we
It would have been cool to have a little crossover or something. So it's
some of the other characters from other... Well, I guess this being his first movie, I think nowadays they would have done that. Maybe they should come out with the George Lucas style special edition,
right?
Where they actually superimpose some of that and other characters in the background.
Speak for yourself, moron.
What are they watching? Is that Davy and Goliath or something?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think
it's like a dog, Mr. Ed.
Look at that old TV. That was a big TV back then. If you had a 26-inch tube screen.
And the dad would not be sitting around watching TV with his son and eating pizza.
That's a good point. Yeah, why are they all together in that room?
And why do they put all that in front of drawers?
How are you this movie confuses and infuriates me. Haven't been on some of the sets that I have been. Like they'll do that. They'll just throw things together to kind of cheat the thing and hope nobody really notices. Just because we got better lighting in this place. Let's just put it here.
Yeah, we've got lighting here.
We can't fit our camera back here. If we just flip the whole room around, then that'll work. That's funny though. I've never noticed those drawers behind there.
I'm sorry, Billy.
That was me explaining the movie.
That was Mike.
That's how the movie business works.
I'm looking for some internships up in Portland also.
For what kind of
radio stations and
that'd be
stuff
cool.
like that. Just like behind the scenes.
Maybe,
learn a little bit more,
Maybe you can write to Rachel and Miles. They seem to have ins with studio people.
Remember last time I did that?
Oh, yeah.
Rachel was kind of rude. And
maybe she was having an off day. It sounds like she's been going through a lot.
Yeah. Maybe I'll hit up Miles next.
There you go.
Or maybe I'll just creep on them when I move to Portland and just find out what comic book shop they hang out at and just hang out there all day until they finally come in. And then I'll be like, hey, I know you two. You two want to hang out? You want to hang out with me? My name is Will. I'm an X-Men character.
I'm sure that'll work with no consequences whatsoever. Can I be on your podcast? Can I be on your podcast? I have a podcast. So can I be on yours?
I like X-Men. You like X-Men? I like X-Men. You want to talk about X-Men? How about the White Man? X-Men. Pop! This is like me when I get fired from a job, which is rarely ever, but
you just celebrate, have a big kegger and stuff. Yeah, he just kind of drowned in the sorrows. Get up. Was that like me, Alicia, when I fall asleep on your floor and stuff?
Yeah.
Come
on.
on.
The other night. I just give up.
Maybe if you did drop a basketball on my head, it would work. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying it probably would work.
Well, also just getting up and leaving works.
I fell asleep on her living room floor the other day, and she was like yelling, Mike, Mike, Mike. And then finally she just got up and started moving, and as soon as she got up, I kind of got up and looked around. Huh? What? Oh, what time is it?
Passed out for a little bit.
We were going to go on a date.
Okay.
And I look at the outfits he's wearing, some of these with like the shirts, like the orange and shirt with the weird polka dot things and stuff. I used to steal those shirts out of my brother's closet all the time and wear them to school.
I was just going to say I want his hat because that is a gnarly freaking like Levi hat. Like a jean hat.
I used to wear hats like that a lot more back in the day, but I don't know if they just went out of style or if I just... my hair is way too long now. Hats just kind of fall off my head because they can't be contained inside the hat.
I couldn't tell if it was fitted or if it was a snapback. Because that's one thing that they've gotten rid of in this world is
fitted hats. Oh, yeah.
And now everything is like fitted. And I love
or it's
my
Velcro.
snapbacks.
I've got a couple of nice ones that are Velcro, but if you ever flip them around like that, like Ash Ketchum style, like you're getting ready for your Pokemon battle and you flip it around, or you're in an arm wrestling match and you flip it around, like over the top.
Over the top.
Like the Velcro really itches on your head.
Oh, yeah. I can totally understand that.
Oh, man, that cheater. She's with the penguin already. I kind of lost track of what's happening in this movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a snapback.
Look at those stairs. Those kind of stairs always freak me out.
I always thought they were the
They have no back on them. They freak me out because you never know who's going to like reach up and tickle you or slash your Achilles tendon like Dollhouse style. Oh yeah, this is the big musical number, huh?
That's where she freaking straight up knocks him into the pool.
There's a dog there for like no reason.
He's just like hanging out.
Who's that guy? He's got a clown hair.
My old buddy Wally.
I think I've met Wally before. Or no, I think I was going to meet him like twice and it didn't work out or something. We were all hanging out.
We need to talk. I love her outfit.
Is he using a deflated inflatable pool toy for a blanket?
Take that.
Man, she's tough. No wonder she's Sonya Blade on Mortal Kombat. Look at her go.
This is literally how Mallory snaps me back into reality sometimes.
After a hard night of partying?
Babe.
I can see her doing that. I'm telling you, man, you gotta watch out. That yoga gives her superpowers, dude.
It really does. She's a super yoga. She actually went to the Sanderson Center, not Sisters, because that would be Hocus Pocus. The Sanderson Center for the deaf, and taught yoga there.
Oh wow!
Just yesterday,
right on.
So that was really cool.
She's like really good. She's teaching everything now and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Just pretty soon she'll start stretching out her limbs like Dalsim and going yoga flame, yoga fire, yoga.
I'm a big mess of jerk rolling in the dirt.
Nah, it is pretty cool of her to snap This is what I rely on Alicia is to snap me back into reality from time to time, huh, Alicia?
Yeah.
Usually with a few punches myself.
Maybe they're playing Marco Polo. Marco Polo.
Man, Norm Macdonald, he still does a lot of voices, like on that Mike Tyson detective show.
Oh,
Where he
really?
voices a pigeon. It's really funny. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm trying to remember what it is, but or what it's called.
Oh, Norm Macdonald?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were saying Adam Sandler for some reason.
No,
I'm like,
yeah,
I thought Norm Macdonald was the pigeon.
Adam Sandler has been pigeonholed into Netflix.
And to achieve victory, no man can take what my father has built unless that man is me.
I think it's this song and coming up on this part where I learned what a rack is.
Right? It's right here.
Don't die, Hama.
Nice rack.
And his look to the camera is so funny. His little wink. I mean, it's not a wink, but I mean metaphorically, right here.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Nods at the camera. Where's your outfit like that, Alicia? You can wear it anytime.
You can borrow mine.
Dieter Hosen. Ja.
Auf Wiedersehen. Ein Liter Hosen.
So in the context of the movie, is this him being still drunk and hallucinating this whole thing? Like
Most definitely.
Like going on a spiritual journey? Or is this really just what the Madison fortune can afford him? There's these kind of opportunities.
Kids, it's me. I bet you thought that I was dead.
The clown guy.
But when I fell
Wait,
over,
he's not on his
broke
stilts
my
anymore.
leg and got a hemorrhage in my head.
Where's the stilts? That really bothers me. There's no continuity in this film.
I like how this actually like turns into a legitimate song at this point.
Oh,
Like an
the world
orchestra.
is this is very Trey Parker and Matt Stone, or Family Guy.
Yeah.
Honestly, this movie is basically a live action Family Guy or Simpsons. It's actually probably a lot more like older Simpsons, but just
Yeah.
like suddenly breaking into random musical numbers and stuff like that.
Love it, and I love that kid's little ponytail. He was like my favorite kid on this entire thing, the fat little chubby kid.
He's actually wearing the. Is that you?
The revolting blob. Oh, these kids are so concerned.
It's nice of these kids to come and back up Billy and want a second chance. Oh wow, the whole school just showed up. They're all in his lawn. It's funny, I remember mostly bits and pieces of this movie, but I don't actually remember any scenes like this or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm. I basically remember this whole thing, and then they do a montage. Billy's getting smart.
yeah, they really do just skip everything after the third grade, huh?
Yep.
No,
They do like that little chemistry portion in high school with
Right.
the chlorophyll, and then they just like skip through it.
They basically skipped over all of junior high.
Yeah,
He
I
went
never
right from
noticed-
6th grade to sophomore year. Did
I
she
never
die?
noticed that he made himself into the David statue.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's totally him and his head on there, huh? That's awesome supervillainy right there. What did the principal play again? Did you ever see that on there? I just remember we commented
yeah.
that he looked like George R.R. Martin, but
Yeah, he's played in tons of things, a lot of things that we can't remember, but we're gonna bring him up right now because I'm on top of it.
so this is the beginning of Act 3 here. So basically, at that point, you get the character in the darkest situation that they can never get themselves out of. And then it's all about how do they get themselves out of it. But yeah, here, it turns out it's all for naught. This hasn't been working. Billy's still going to lose his inheritance for the hotel chain.
Eric's
and-
gonna take over.
Yeah, now they have to do some all or nothing maneuver to get it back, which is what results in the whole
Right.
Q&A contest here. But yeah, it's always fun to pick out where Act 1 ends or Act 2 ends and Act 3 begins and stuff like that in a movie. But it's basically writing 101 right there.
He was the caseworker in Big Daddy.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do remember him from that. Where he showed up at the apartment, was kind of hunting him down.
He was in Law and Order for one episode. Knock Around Guys,
Okay.
apparently. The Out of Towners.
It sounds familiar, but I
Steve
don't know
Martin and Sigourney Weaver.
Okay.
Not Sigourney Weaver.
Whoopi
Goldie
Goldberg?
Hawn.
Oh. They used to work together on a lot of movies, like House
Yeah.
Sitter and stuff.
Billy Madison. City Slickers 2.
I did see that, but I
That's
don't
kind of
remember
funny.
him
That's
in
like
that.
a recurring thing on the Geek Show too. Yeah, the search for Curly's gold.
Yeah, that's true.
Legend of
And on
Curly's
Radio
Gold.
from Hell, they're always doing that when they're talking about a sequel. Avengers 2, The Search for Curly's Gold. For a long time
Cheers.
before that, did you know they always said like Avengers 2 Electric Boogaloo, because there's a real movie where the sequel says Electric Boogaloo, but they wore that out, so that I remember the day that they started using the Search for Curly's Gold. Yeah. They decided on that for every sequel.
It was Break-In 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Oh no, we used to see that at the rental place to get it all the time, even before Radio from Hell was saying about it. And we just thought it was like, what's an Electric Boogaloo? And my friend Sam made up a little dance for it. This is the Boogaloo. And he kind of shuffled his feet. It was hilarious.
O'Doyle rules.
What is that? Is that manure?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like weed. He's trying, and I'm like, is he trying to get him arrested and imprisoned for the next 20 years?
Yes, exactly. Don't you know you can make explosives out of horse manure?
That's true, yeah. Just ask that kid in Oklahoma City.
That is correct.
1066. What's 1066?
Right. Come on, can you undress a little freaking slower? No.
Careful, Will. This isn't one of those kind of movies. What did they say in the... We watched The Hangover 3 last night. And Alicia, we were laughing when Zach Galifianakis calls it, instead of pornography, he calls it a pornography. Or
a pornography?
Yeah, I saw it in a pornography. Do you have any pornography on you, son? No, sir. I don't even have a pornograph.
I don't even have a pornograph.
1986?
Come on, 1 second. No.
Yeah, well, you know, he should have studied up more. That's all I can say.
And there he is, washing his own butt.
Yeah, huh? Like, it changes the whole context of his relationship with this statue. Buenos noches.
I always wondered
what language that guy was speaking right there. Yeah,
I
actually know some French, and I don't think I ever recognized it as French. It's a great
I guess
reaction.
I could have looked at the book.
Oh, does it actually say it on there? Oh! What kind of class is this for? Home ec? Or is this just for meditation reasons? Spanish Armada?
That is correct.
I miss Chris Farley. He died like my senior year of high school.
So like 2 years after this? No, you were in junior high.
It was about 4 or 5 years after this, because he was in this, and then he did like Beverly Hills Ninja, Tommy Boy, Black Sheep.
Almost Heroes.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one with Matthew Perry. How did I forget Matthew Perry was in that movie?
Yeah, we got to see that now. Speaking of Friends. But, yeah, but when he died, I remember he died, and Phil Hartman like died that same year, you know, in very tragic ways too. And
right.
And I just miss those guys. They were very influential, I think, to me, just my sense of humor and comedy and everything.
It's kind of like how Andy Samberg is for like the new comedic era. Like, a lot of people absolutely hate the person. Everybody hates Andy Samberg and thinks that his humor is ridiculous. But that's my kind of humor. It's ridiculous and stupid and hilarious.
Andy Samberg's one of those guys that, like, I think just because of Dick in a Box, drinks his own pee. That's great. Just because of like Dick in a Box and some of those things, I never give Andy Samberg enough credit. He actually is hilarious. Yeah. But I look at him like I look at King of the Hill. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch this, but then it's the only thing on. I'm like, yeah, okay. But I watch it, it's actually really good. Oh my gosh, the guy's on fire.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is just hilarious.
You keep saying I gotta get into that. I gotta.
Dude, did you see that guy's balls? Yeah, weird.
Yeah, see, I don't even remember, like, any of these parts. I swear they cut them out of TBS or something.
Yeah.
Or that, the last time we watched this, I fell asleep for a while. I don't know.
You probably did. Cause...
That happens to me a lot, folks.
They were weird.
Driving trucks for a living, I wake up really early in the morning.
I love this.
What is that? Like a candle or just... What is he pulling out?
A boot. Like, yeah, you made a boot in there. Good job.
Is that one of the boots that he wore to his first day of school? Oh, okay, yeah, they're panning down to it right now. He's actually really good at the violin and stuff.
He's playing the clarinet backwards.
Oh, yeah, huh?
That was the instrument I played in, for 2 years.
Did you really?
Yeah, I played
you could play me a polka and you've never mentioned this before? That's what would happen if I tried to play the clarinet.
He's good.
He's good. Actually, how does Billy beat him in the end just because of that situational ethics.
He brings up
thing.
business ethics.
Yeah, okay.
And he has no business ethics.
He's doing Shakespeare. What has Billy got on him? I seriously don't remember this montage at all. Oh, he actually comes in with Oryx's skull and dressed up in period clothing. Is he doing Shakespeare but in his Adam Sandler voice?
Yep.
He totally is, huh?
To take on
Seriously,
the
this guy
sea
made
of
millions off that
troubles.
voice. I can do funny voices. Where's my million? Oh, look, he's driving an old station wagon. Oh, O'Doyle's not... For some reason, I always remembered O'Doyle was... the O'Doyle dad was Chris Farley.
That
That's
would've been
weird.
funny.
Yeah, I always thought that he was actually the O'Doyle. That's great. Okay.
Let's be thankful it wasn't. That way we could not have him drive off the side of a cliff.
Yeah, well, I mean, him and Billy were clearly friends by the end of this movie. I guess that makes sense that wasn't him.
Right.
Wow, that's like a weird revelation for me because for 20 years I thought that he was the leader of the O'Doyles.
I like this guy. My wife, the dirty, dirty tramp.
I married common street trash. Street trash. Their categories. Who made these up?
Oh, dude, I've been watching Silicon Valley because I got that little connector that I can plug my phone into my HDMI and watch stuff on my TV. So I've got the HBO Now app, so I can watch Game of Thrones and everything.
Sure.
But I've been watching Silicon Valley, and that show is absolutely hilarious.
Isn't that the one where like they keep on doing really bizarre, outlandish internet kind of stuff to like solve crimes and things, but it's like way unrealistic?
It's about a guy that it's about a bunch of software developers, and this guy designs this data compression algorithm that beats the previous Heisman score or whatever it was of like 3.8, and it's like a 5.9, so it's like freaking amazing, like a revolutionary thing, and they're like going through this business adventure, but they're all like completely just like programmers, so they're kind of dumb and don't know much about the business, only what they do, so they're awkward. And one of the main guys is the dude that plays Wasabi on Big Hero 6.
Oh yeah, one of the guys from In Living Color's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the
Damon Wayans.
Oh no,
it's Damon Wayans' kid.
Who's Wasabi then? Who's the guy in the Dragon Spitfire thing?
Oh, that's Fred.
Fred. Okay, so
No,
guy
anyway.
does Fred's voice.
Okay.
And he's in it, and Kumail is in it. He's been in Portlandia. I listened to his podcast, The Indoor Kids. But yeah, it's just absolutely hilarious. Even Mallory likes it, and they start to talk computers, and she's just like, I don't understand what they're saying, but it's funny.
HBO bringing you quality programming.
Yeah,
Just remember, it's not pornography, it's HBO.
Is
there any nudity in the Silicon Valley show? Because if it's
No.
HBO, there should be nudity.
No, there's actually been like no nudity in the
I'm
entire
surprised.
show. There's been like maybe a bong rip or two. That's about as bad as it gets.
Huh.
A couple F-bombs.
Well, you gotta get away with that on cable.
Right. But
Heck, you get away with it on Comedy
really
Central
funny.
all the time after 10 p.m.
Yeah. I remember even on like the E channel, like Entertainment Channel, they used to have late at night they would have Howard Stern, and they would not censor that at all. And then all that night would be Girls Gone Wild commercials.
Is that what E stands for? Is entertainment? I think I'm just
so.
learning that. The E channel. I was just like, sure, well, that's as creative as anything, I guess.
I used to always call it E-annoying.
Bill Allred on Radio from Hell, he always calls it E! Because it has an exclamation point.
Right. It's contained within the exclamation point.
E!
E!
So here's where Billy pulls out his ace in the hole. A simple wrong would have been fine. Oh yeah, that's right, because he tells him that is the stupidest answer. We were all dumber for having heard it. That's right.
Business ethics. And this is where he just like completely breaks down and goes crazy.
My spouse is sleeping around, the French Revolution. Who made up these categories?
It was definitely that guy. Not Eric.
The principal, or the host, or whatever.
Yeah. I didn't even catch his exact title. Was he like superintendent? Was he the mayor?
I think he might be the principal of the high school, maybe. 'Cause that's what Billy's
that
in.
makes sense.
Yeah, I imagine I've always imagined that's who he is, because they're doing it at the high school clearly, or at least it looks like a more high school level auditorium or something. So
that's where they just like give him topic to talk about instead of like, hey, what can you tell me about this law and this and this and this? Instead, there's like, explain business ethics.
That's a good point. It is kind of a Deus Ex Machina almost. It kind of looks like the tabernacle or something up there. The Mormon tabernacle downtown, the seating. That's goofy. And why did he have a gun in the school? Can you get away with that?
I like how the host isn't even worried. He's just like chilling out all casual. He's like,
oh yeah, he's like super and then he just smiles when the guy runs in as a principal.
He probably just doesn't even care. He's like, if I die, then I get away from my wife, I guess.
Yeah, he really doesn't have much to live for. Yeah, he's about to shoot a girl, and he just stands there. Look at him.
Takes one to the rectum.
Thank goodness Steve Buscemi shows up and saves everybody.
Glad I got that guy.
That's my other favorite part of this movie.
I love Steve Buscemi's outfits. He looks like he should be like
from the
part
50s
of the
or 60s.
military or something like that almost.
Oh, I always thought he just looked like a kid in the like early 60s or something, like something from Happy Days.
That too. So maybe he was bullied so much in high school that he never kind of grew out of the way that he dressed and everything like that. It's part of his mental condition and everything.
Yeah, completely.
Leave it to Mike and Will to go meta.
We need we definitely need to invent the backstory for his character.
Oh, did you hear Joe Dirt's getting a sequel?
Oh, good. Well, we
only on Crackle.
The world doesn't have enough David Spade. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's only on Crackle. So.
Joe Dirt actually is one of those underrated comedies. It was actually really funny.
I love Joe Dirt.
I think I watched it in like 2 different sittings with, again, my friend Clint. He loved most of these movies. And it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Hey, the clown's there. Good.
Yay! And he hasn't changed at all.
You think this is makeup?
And then, gosh, what else did I watch?
Still wearing the denim cap. All right, getting away with that at graduation.
Oh, we watched Grandma's Boy the other day too, and the part where they go when Kevin Nealon, they're video game testers and everything like that. Huh. And Kevin Nealon's their boss, and he's like this yoga guy, and he's all in tune with his inner self. So he sends him on to a restaurant to celebrate, and it so happens to be a vegan restaurant, and the waiter's name is Shiloh. And it's David Spade. And like, look at you, come to make fun of the vegans. What the fuck did we ever do? And I'll censor that out, don't worry. But it was so funny, like, going back and watching it now that I'm vegan, totally forgetting about that part. I'm just like, yep, basically how we're treated and basically how I feel sometimes.
Hey, it's okay. You get superpowers from it, like Scott Pilgrim, so it's okay.
This is a PG-13 movie, right?
Yeah, but they get away with one F word because.
and this is a PG-13 podcast,
so we get away with one F word.
I said it fast enough that hopefully it's just a momentary thing. And,
that sounds fair. No, it's all good. You think he's? Oh my goodness, is this PG-13?
I gotta check.
It's talking about being horny and yeah. Oh, I love that. He's kissing the lunch lady. Lunch lady land.
I have a friend that looks like that kid back there. Her name is Dana.
Her and the clown hook up. Is that the high school kids though?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
She's like, whoa.
That's good.
No, I will not make out with you. That's the same girl.
Is that the same girl? That's great. Juanita and Steve Buscemi get together. That's really funny. Oh, excuse me.
And Chris Farley and the Penguin.
And the Penguin. Oh, look at his face. Yeah, when the penguin goes down, I remember his face is hilarious. I remember watching this with my friend John, and he would laugh like till he cried because of this.
That's a fat bastard right there.
Oh, God.
He should have played that part.
Well, I think he was dead by that point.
Yeah, but like that should have been the role specifically dedicated for Chris Farley.
Oh, no, that's I was about to quote Married an Ex-Murderer. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Forget about the money, just give me the baby.
The baby.
Yeah, well, that's Billy Madison.
That was Billy Madison.
I forgot that it ends on such a high note with everybody getting together and making out.
It's a classic happy ending for everyone. He graduates and everything finally.
Ryan Madison. Oh, the dad.
Yeah.
I'm like, did he have a brother in this or something? Oh, well, yeah. So, if you guys are sitting here listening to us and dinking around the internet with your spare time, feel free to check out MatthewArt.com, where you can see some of the latest and greatest works of our favorite Disney video game concept artist, Matthew Armstrong, my dear, wonderful older brother. He's got all kinds of cool art on there of all your favorite things that you like, from video game stuff to old animes to some of your favorite Marvel and DC characters. Just give it a shot. It's either mattthewart.com or matthewart.com. All one nice big word. It's hard to tell.
mattthewart.com.
He's always been a little sensitive about that domain name, but it seems to work, and that's where everyone goes for his stuff. So,
British Compassionate Eatery.
where are they at?
They're at 145 East, 1300 South, Suite 201 in Salt Lake City, Utah. They're right next to a drug testing facility, so you can get yourself a nice little thing of kale and go pee next door if you'd like to. But I suggest you just go in. Hopefully sometime earlier in the day, go talk to Lee. Big, tall, bald dude. Really
Everyone's
nice.
pee at that drug test center smells like parsley. We can't figure out why. Maybe it's the vegan restaurant next door.
Go check him out. He's got some of his artwork up there, too. He dawdles, dabbles, has a little fun with things.
Yeah, really cool, too.
Family-owned restaurant, great vegan restaurant, full-bodied meals. You're not just getting sawdust with a side of kale flakes, as he says in his commercial. So just go in, try it out. Once again, 145 East, 1300 South, Suite 201 in Salt Lake City, Utah.
And if I can recommend, the full Whitaker nachos really are the bomb. I remember, I think when I went there and tried them, they weren't even called the full Whitaker nachos yet, but they have earned that name.
They definitely have. They were just like loaded nachos before.
Yeah, that vegan cheese is better than I gave it credit for on that. I've had vegan cheeses before that weren't that good, but when I had his, it was like way good on those nachos, for real.
So good.
Also, if you happen to be in the neighborhood, go up to 2043 East, 3300 South, and hang out at Dr. Volt's Comic Connection, where they'll hook you up with some of the latest and greatest titles, give you all kinds of information and lowdown on some of the stuff and goings on in the Marvel Universe, the DC Universe, the IDW Universe, and the Independent Universe, and maybe a little bit of our universe.
Also, I'd like to thank them. They were one of the sponsors for the SL Tribute, Salt Lake Tribune thing that I did, where I found the Ultron and got 2 free comic books, went and picked up some Howard the Duck. They're awesome. They're going to be great. They'll always hook you up, be able to explain things that are going on in the Marvel Universe, catch you up in case you missed a couple things, and give you some good jumping on points.
And plus, it's a great place to hang out. And I've got to say this about it. I've gone to a lot of cool little nerdy hangout and comic book places and card shops before that smelled like crap. This place smells really good.
Yeah, it really
Dave
does.
knows how to keep his place smelling just fine, like a fine French boutique, if you will.
It's well organized.
You can actually thumb through the comics unlike some other comic book stores in the area.
Right.
And
not to mention
comics. So feel free to check out Dr. Volts. They have a website. Google it. drvolts.com, I think, is honestly all of it.
drvolts.com.
But other than that, we'll be back next week to bring you all kinds of crazy trivia, fond memories, and hopefully all kinds of anecdotes and delightful meta miscorrelations between movies and characters and actors.
Just kind of watch what we
different
put together.
Theories and backstories. That's what we have fun doing. So join us again at Will and Mike Explain the Universe, and we'll see you next time. But until then, may the Schwartz be with you.
Check your mental health and have fun at Age of Ultron.
Adios. See you then.